know, learning to play an instrument has proven to help develop better verbal memory, increase understanding on secondary language, and increase cognitive skills according to research done at the frontiers of neuroscience. Playing music for me has been a great way in college to de-stress and just have a lot of fun. And I find it kind of shocking that most of the people on my floor, or just people I meet, don't know how to play a musical instrument. And the reason for this is because the learning curve to play an instrument is huge. So I'm hoping by my speech today on how to read sheet music is just a baby step on your overall goal to hopefully play an instrument. Now, I was just talking about how to identify and read the musical staff and the clefs, notes, and rests. Now, this is the staff. The staff was created by Guerrero de Rosero in the year 1000, according to the Musical Journal. And the staff is the backbone of everything that has to do with sheet music. There's 5 lines and 4 spaces. And depending on where you place the notes on the staff, that determines what the note names are. But before we can start talking about note naming, it's important to know what clef we're in. Now there's 2 major clefs. There's the treble clef, which is shown here, and the bass clef. The treble clef is usually used for higher instruments, such as flutes and clarinets, while the bass clef is usually used for low instruments like trombones and tubas. Now depending which clef you play in, that determines what notes that are going to be used on the scale. Now, each line and each space has its individual letter according to where you place the note. As shown on the presentation, the letters seem to be in some random order, but there's actually a science behind this. As you can see, their letters range from A to G, and starting from the bottom staff, from the E letter, it goes alphabetically up. So as you can see, E, F, G, A, B, C, D, E, F. Now, if you have that philosophy, it's pretty easy to be able to identify what notes when looking at a piece of music. Now, one of the best ways to actually just be able to look at a note and decide, okay, it's an A or it's a B, is through anagrams. Now, anagrams such as Every Good Boy Deserves Fudge, which is the best way I learned how to name notes, is you look at the line and E, G, B, D, F. Every good boy deserves fudge. Now, according to anagrams, the research shows that, according to Wilder in his anagram solving research paper, anagrams improve memorization much faster. So with this simple technique, you can easily be showing what notes are used according to what letters. Another simple trick to know for the spaces is the spaces spell face, so F-A-C-E. So as I mentioned before, there's 2 major clefs, and for this speech I'll just be talking about the treble clef, but just to show you the bass clef, this is what the treble clef would look like. The bass clef would be different as this. So instead of the E starting point, you would actually start at a G. So that's just important to remember that depending on what clef you're in, the notes are different. Now I'm going to be talking about the note and rest values. So when determining note and rest values, it's important to know what a beat is. Now a beat is just a simple word for a unit of measurement. And beats are used to be able to just decide how much time has passed to be able to play the note. Now for sense of clarity, I'm going to be using 60 beats per minute, or that means 1 beat is equal to 1 second. So the whole note is just a circle, which is placed on the staff, and that is 4 beats, or you hold that note for 4 seconds. A half note is half of the whole note, and that is 2 beats for 2 seconds. Quarter note is 1 beat, which hold it for 1 second. Eighth note is half a beat, and then 16th note is 1/4 of a beat. Now, rests are just like notes, except when notes tell you when to play, rests instead tell you when not to play and how long not to play. So for rests, the timing is actually very similar to what the notes are. That's why I put them side by side. And for rests, there is the whole rest, which is 4 beats, which is for 4 seconds. Half rest, which is 2 beats for 2 seconds. Quarter rest, which is 1 beat. Eighth rest, which is half a beat, and then 16th rest, which is 1/8 beat. So now, knowing this newfound information, it is quite easily to show as a piece of music like this, just to be able to first identify what clef you're in, so treble clef, and then be able to say what these notes actually mean. So every good day avoids there's fudge, and then being able to show, okay, so now that you know what the note name is and know which note to play, now you need to know how long you play the note. So now you know that the quarter notes as shown at the beginning, and the quarter rests for the third right there. And then on the second line, you can see that instead of quarter notes, it's actually half notes, as we've seen before. And these are the basics of just reading sheet music, and hopefully you can look at a piece like this now and just be able to identify the simple essentials on how to read it. Now obviously music goes a lot more complicated than this and in depth, like this is Hot Cross Buns is a simple music piece. But hoping that just a simple baby step that you're in the future be able to learn to appreciate music and learn a musical instrument.